This week's question is, how do I boost my metabolism? Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Q&A with Coach AK, brought to you by Transformed Health Initiative. So every Friday I release a new Q&A video discussing different relevant health and fitness topics that you can apply to your journey, whether if you're a beginner or an advanced trainee. So without further ado, let's get into the question. So for this week we have, how do I boost my metabolism? All right, guys, great question. A lot to discuss here. So we know that this topic has been a big one the last decade or two in the health and fitness world. If you are anywhere in this sphere, in this realm, and you haven't heard about boosting your metabolism or damaged metabolism, broken metabolism, I just don't know where you've been all this time. So there's been countless supplements and products claiming to boost your metabolism, as well as specific metabolic workouts and other so-called hacks that are available to help you with this situation. We see this topic come up even more with people who have attempted fat loss phases in the past, and at the end of the day, they just assume that their metabolism has to be to blame for their lack of success. But we'll see here in a minute that's probably not the case. So with that being said, let's just first establish a couple things before I discuss how you may actually be able to increase your metabolic rate in practical ways that'll save you tons of money and stress. That sounds like a win to me, don't you think? Point number one, the idea of boosting our metabolism gets way overblown, guys. Way overblown. There are no secret magical ways to boost your metabolism. There's no special pills, plans, potions, none of that. Sorry about having to break the bad news to you again, but it's just really not a thing, guys. A broken metabolism is largely just downright a myth, all right? We just don't see this in the scientific literature. It's just not really a thing. So if your metabolism wasn't working, guess what? You wouldn't be alive, because your metabolism is in charge of everything that's going on in your body, from your organs working, your brain working, pumping blood through your veins, your organs functioning properly, any type of movement that you do with your body. All of this is fueled by your metabolism, by breaking down of food into molecules to be absorbed in order for providing nutrients and providing energy to the cells of the body. So your metabolism works, it just may not be working all that much in your favor, so you may feel. So can we actually increase metabolic rate? In short, the good news is probably yes. But first, we have to understand that there are no shortcuts, okay? Our daily lifestyle habits and body composition will impact our metabolic rate the most at the end of the day, all right? Let's just get those things established. So I have for you today, drum roll please, 4 ways that you can possibly increase your metabolic rate starting today. Tip number 1, strength training. Strength training will increase the amount of calories we burn during each workout in the hours following. So there's this cool effect that the body has whenever we cause muscle damage, whenever we go through the process of strength training, that actually causes us to burn more calories throughout the day as our body is going through the recovery and healing process. So it's having to use energy to start the healing and recovery process, therefore burning more calories to do so. Building and retaining muscle is metabolically expensive. The more muscle that we have, the more calories our body must burn to maintain and grow new muscle. So it costs our body something to build and to maintain muscle, and it costs it calories. The more calories your body's burning, the higher your metabolic rate is. At rest, muscle burns more calories than body fat, thus naturally increasing our metabolic rate even while we sleep. So there's another win, cha-ching, for the sleep column, okay? As we sleep, our body is burning a ton of calories, all right? And that's going to lead us into our next point, adequate sleep. Tip number 2. So even while we sleep, our metabolism is fast at work breaking down compounds from our foods into molecules for absorption and shuttling those nutrients to our cells for overall recovery from day-to-day life, from training, and for proper cell function. So adequate sleep is very, very important for how our metabolism works and how well it can work. And we do know that when we don't get adequate sleep, our bodies are much more likely to break down higher amounts of lean muscle tissue while we sleep in place of body fat, which means our metabolism takes a double hit. So less muscle mass, more body fat means we're burning less calories at rest, and we're probably doing a whole lot less movement throughout the day. So it's just a bad situation altogether when we don't get adequate sleep. All right, tip number 3. Staying active throughout the day, even outside of your scheduled workouts. All right, daily activity. This is a huge one, guys. Probably should have been my last point because this may be the biggest one. So, the bulk of the calories we burn each day comes from our NEAT activity. NEAT is an acronym that stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which AKA it just means that our normal daily activities that aren't actually exercise based. So it may be walking around the park, walking through the grocery store, playing with your kids, working, fiddling your hands, fiddling your feet, bouncing back and forth, chewing your food, just any type of activity that you do throughout the day that doesn't involve exercise specifically is your NEAT activity. This increased activity throughout the day keeps digestion running smooth, which means better absorption and transporting of nutrients throughout our body. So again, another win for daily activity, helping with digestion, helping with nutrient absorption, which therefore makes our metabolism much more efficient with the fuel that we are consuming. Aiming for high daily step count will keep us burning more calories throughout the day, increasing our capacity for eating more calories without storing the excess, aka increased metabolism. So the more active we are throughout the day, the more we're moving around, the more calories we're burning, the more food we can eat and still get the same effect, which therefore looks like our metabolism is increasing and our metabolic rate is improving. In a sense, it kind of is, but it's more because you're just burning more calories throughout the day than you were if you just went and worked out, sat at the office all day, and went home and binged on Netflix. Just keep it moving, guys. All right, tip number 4, last point of the day, eating a high protein diet. So we know that protein has a higher thermogenic effect than carbs and fats. And what that just means is that it requires more calories to digest protein and absorb protein than it does the other macronutrients. So the process of breaking down protein to amino acids, absorbing it into the bloodstream, shuttling it into the cells that need it or need them, has a higher burn rate of calories per gram compared to carbs and fats. High protein diets tend to be more effective at helping build more muscle and retain muscle during a fat loss phase, especially, which ties into tip number 1, in which more muscle mass equals more calories burned each day, which equals a higher metabolic rate. So another win for high protein diets and building and retaining muscle mass that, again, is metabolically expensive, which is going to drive our body to burn more calories throughout the day, just maintaining that muscle tissue. So the difference of the calorie burn from carbs and fats to protein, it's on the small side. It's not a huge difference. It doesn't mean that you can just go eat only protein and that your body's just going to burn through a bunch of extra calories. It doesn't quite work that way. It's actually a smaller difference than people tend to think it is, but it can play into our metabolic rate in the big picture and at the end of the day. So not something to overlook whatsoever. And an added bonus of eating a high protein diet is protein not only burns more calories during digestion, but also can increase satiety levels from each meal, lessening how much food that we have to eat to feel satisfied and stay full longer. So it may not be, as far as that point, directly impacting our metabolic rate, but if it causes us to be full longer, be satiated longer, we need less calories throughout the day to feel full. Therefore, we're eating less without even realizing it, and boom, our metabolism is now working for us even more. All right, guys, so I hope this information benefits you and your health and fitness journey. If you like this type of content and you want to hear more, then please like, share, comment, do all the cool YouTube stuff. Let's get this information out to those who need it. And this will also give me an idea of what type of information benefits you the most. For more details about my online and in-person coaching services, visit www.transformedhealthcoach.com and sign up for a free 20-minute virtual consultation call to see if the Transform Health Initiative team is good for you. All right, guys, I will see you next time on another episode of Q&A with Coach AK. Peace.